Oh gosh, bless you, baby. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my labour and delivery story. It's taken me a long time to sit down, not a long time, yeah, a month. It's taken me a month to sit down and actually talk about this story, as it was a very brutal experience. Childbirth is no joke. Anyway, just to let you know, I gave birth on the 21st of December to a beautiful baby boy called Lewin, who I will be hopefully introducing to you guys in my next video, but I'm going to jump straight into the story. Okay, so it was 5 in the morning and I've gotten up to go to the toilet. As everyone knows, when you're pregnant you go to the toilet so many times throughout the night. I think I was going about 4 or 5 times. I've gone back to bed, tried to go back to sleep, and I got this ache in my stomach, and it was a kind of pain like a period cramp. I couldn't sleep through it, so I stayed awake. My boyfriend was asleep next to me, but I didn't bother waking him as he had football training in the morning, and I thought, like, I don't want it to be a false alarm, I don't want to get our hopes up. We'll just be sitting up and then the pains might stop and I would have woken him up for no reason and blah blah blah. So I stayed awake by myself for 1 hour, and I timed each pain, like each contraction, and there was one every 5 minutes. I've called my midwife and she said this is the early starts of labour, but you don't come into hospital until you're getting 4 every 10 minutes, that's 2 every 5 minutes. I was only getting 1. So I remember I was just sitting on my ball, and at this point my partner had already woken up because I was bouncing on the ball, speaking on the phone at like 6 in the morning. He wasn't exactly going to sleep through that. We decided to take our stuff and go to my house, as I had my hospital bag and my notes at my house, so I thought it would make sense if we was there, just in case things started speeding up and we'd have to go in. So I'm at my house now and it is literally 8 in the morning. And yeah, I'm still getting the pains every 5 minutes. Then at about 1 in the afternoon, things wanted to go a little irregular. So the time difference, there was like 1 every 15 minutes, 1 every 20 minutes, 1 every 2 minutes, 1 every 5 minutes. Like, it was all different. And I was just thinking, oh gosh, like, it's getting irregular now. The baby's not coming today. We kind of lost hope. My boyfriend was talking about going back to his house as he had training again. And he was like, just saying like, we doubt the baby's gonna come. Then it got to about 5, 6. Then they started to come again every 5 minutes, like, and the pain was bad, but it still wasn't what I would class ow. Do you know what I mean? I was walking around, I was just chilling, and I was just like, oh, like, yeah, there's one now. Then it went. So my sister was really good. She downloaded the app and she could time them. And it started getting to the point where she was telling me, like, you're going to get one in 10 seconds. And then they started coming like 3 every 10 minutes. And the pain was getting worse, but still, it was alright. Then it come to it, I called the midwife. I told her, like, my waters hadn't broken yet, but I was getting these pains. She kind of made me feel a bit disheartened on the phone. She kind of said, like, oh, well, when it's your first baby, this stuff can happen and then it can go and you won't get contractions again till tomorrow. So I was like, tomorrow? Okay, well, I'm not coming in because I don't want to get sent home. Like, that would literally just be the worst thing. So I've stayed at home. I said, I'm just going to see how it goes. We watched a film in this time. They were still coming, I'd say 3 every 10 minutes. Then they were getting bad, as in when I got a contraction, I was having to what was it, like, proper breathe myself through it, but I was whistling at the same time, so I was going like this. It was the way that I dealt with it, and it worked. Okay, so when I started making those silly noises and started whistling through my contractions, I made a decision. Okay, I want to go to the hospital because the pain's beginning to get to me now. Like, I need some sort of painkiller, pain relief, something. So I've gone to the hospital now. I was being quite blunt with my family members when I was getting a contraction. I was like, everyone has to be quiet when I'm getting one. I just needed to concentrate on the pain. It was beginning to become unbearable at this point. So I've got to the hospital. They've put us in the birth room. It was really big. There was like a sofa, like a bath, little ensuite bathroom, a bed, radio. It was really like nice in there. when I was coping with my contractions, I was walking around. Obviously I said that I had to stop and I was whistling through it, but I just kept walking. And then when I got one, I had to bend over and just breathe through it. So I think I was handling it quite well. Then at one of them I stopped, I started breathing, and then I went, I think I'm gonna wet myself, and then I had no control over this. The water just come down and it was my waters. Yeah, my waters had broke. I wouldn't say that a gush of water come out and it was like what you see on the TV or in the movies. Like, it wasn't like that. It was like a straight, like you just wet yourself, like a little wee. Anyway, the midwife said, like, your waters don't stop breaking, so you're going to continue to just leak, basically. So I sat in the bed and literally wet myself for this whole duration. Yeah, so yeah, she said, do you want any pain relief? I was like, Gas-N-Air. I want Gas-N-Air. So she rang that in, and yep, straight away I was on it, like breathing through these contractions. I'd say that the contractions may have got more painful when I had the Gas-N-Air, because I was concentrating on the Gas-N-Air, whereas before I was concentrating on breathing like through the pain and like handling the pain. At this point now I'm not handling the pain and it's sort of like taking over me. So yeah, I've got into the birthing pool, and I remember just, I was so dazed, like this Gas-N-Air, I was high, like I was gone. At one point I felt like I was tripping out, because I said to them to turn the radio up when I was doing the Gas-N-Air. Then the midwife come over and was bopping around like this, and I started tripping like I was in like a rave or something. Like, it was strange. Anyway, I started saying to the midwife, like, I really need to poo, and she's like, yeah, that's fine. And I was thinking, well, it's not fine, like I need to get out of the bath and go to the toilet so I can poo. Like, she was like, no, just stay in the bath. I was thinking, why? I need to poo, don't want everyone to see. I had the Gas-N-Air, and I wasn't like coming off after a contraction. I was literally just breathing normally, constantly, with the Gas-N-Air, like it wasn't coming out of my mouth.
You know we can't take the Gas-N-Air home, you know that, don't you?
The midwife actually took the Gas-N-Air away from me and said to me, like, oh, if you continue to use it like this, like you're going to lose the effects, basically, like the Gas-N-Air won't do its job. What are you doing? What are you doing? And I kind of agreed with her, because she said to me, like, oh, it could be another 5 hours, like, just relax, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, like, rah, like, another 5 hours, I really need this Gas-N-Air to work. So I agreed with her, gave it to her, and I was like, let me just hack this next contraction without anything. Wrong thing to do. I remember getting the contraction, I literally swam across this bath. Even though it's not big enough to swim in, I literally was like, ugh. I was on my front, getting all myself all worked up, and I looked into her eyes. I was literally like, put me to sleep, like, give me an epidural. I was like, please, like, I was going to help me, like, give me the Gas-N-Air back. I don't know whose silly idea it was to take this Gas-N-Air away, but when I got this pain, it was like I was being possessed by the devil himself, by Satan. He was trying to come out of my mouth. I was literally like, oh, it was just trying to escape my body. At this point, I had no control over my body at all. I was literally like, I had no control, and there was no whistling, there was no breathing, there was nothing. I just lost composure, basically. Yeah. So when I started screaming like that, people started moving a bit faster. The midwife put a mirror down there. I was like, I can see the head. She's like, maybe it's not going to be 5 hours. Bear in mind, from when she was saying it's going to be 5 hours to now, it had only been 10 minutes. So yeah, I was screaming crazily. Things started to move a bit more. She was going, all right, Athena, on this next contraction, I need you to push. And I was just so dazed, because A second ago they were taking the gas and air from me, saying you need to calm down, and now they're telling me I need to push, and I was a bit like, is it coming now? Like, is it happening? Like, and I was not in the room, I was not the full ticket. This pain just needed to stop. It wasn't a sharp pain, it was literally like you really need to do a massive poo. Sorry to be too much information, but that's what it felt like. You just trying to just get this poo out, basically. Anyway, the head is out, and then the body come out. Let's just cut it like that. The head and the body come out. So now the baby's here and he's in my arms. It is a lovely feeling. I was under the understanding that I would have given birth, got out of the pool, dried off, you know, spent some time with my baby, just enjoyed that moment. But no, they had other plans. They had other plans. Oh my God. So anyway, they gave me an injection in my arm to get the placenta out. I've then got out of the bath and they're like, we're going to have a look just to see if you've got any tears. Like, it's very common, especially with a new, like, your first baby. Like, we're going to just have a look. I didn't want anyone to be there, touching there, looking there. I didn't want to be touched. I wanted to be left alone. I just went through something so excruciating. The last thing I want you to do is start prodding down there. Anyway, oh my God. Let's just cut the story short, okay? I teared and I needed stitches, and let's put it this way, the stitches was the worst part of the whole thing. The whole experience, the stitches was the worst. It was worse than the contractions, it was worse than the pushing, it was worse than the head coming through, it was worse than the shoulders coming through. It was the worst part, the stitches. So if you imagine, I was pushing for 13 minutes, so the pain was unbearable for a whole 13 minutes. The stitches, they were stitching me up for about 45 minutes. Like, it just wasn't a joke. And you feel everything. The stitch, they say they numbed it, but I felt everything. Anyway, yeah, that was basically my whole labour and delivery story. Please subscribe to my channel if you would want to see any more, and let me know if there's any specific videos you want me to film. You can message me on Instagram or Snapchat privately. Yeah, so thanks for watching.